Hey Switchers, how's it going? Kanan here and welcome to my review of Anodyne 2 Return to Dust. A kind of spiritual successor of the original Anodyne game, but you don't need to have played that first, you can play it either way you want. And the first one being 2D, this one is more 2D and 3D story-based adventure. And that's pretty well all I'm going to say about the first one, apart from it's very good, go and buy it. So let's see if this second iteration has what it's got to get to the Wall of Fame, or whether it's going to fail where so many sequels have failed before and end up on the Wall of Shame, or somewhere in the middle. Don't forget to join us in our Discord, our community Discord, where we do lots of community activities. And so let's get our 2D and 3D on and let's see what the game's all about. Gameplay. Holy crap, this is a difficult one to explain. The story is unique, one might say. I'm not going to explain all of it because I don't fully understand all of it, but from what I can gather, you are a special creature that is able to clean and shrink to nano size or something like that. You're here to save the land, and basically you have to shrink down into like a 2D area, fight creatures by hoovering up objects and throwing them at them, fighting bosses and opening up areas by doing so. You have to collect cards to heal a dust prism that you put dust, which is what you collect when you defeat the enemies. You also have a health bar, an inventory, and loads of different settings. The 2D world is done in almost like a retro RPG top-down style effect, and it looks pretty cool, and the controls there work quite well, except for when you hoover up these objects to blast them away. Sometimes when you want to blast things, you'll do it, but you won't be facing the right direction for some reason, even though you point in the right direction. It's weird in that way. I don't think this is deliberate, and it could do with a tweak for definite. The 3D world is very reminiscent from something from maybe a PS2 era. If they were trying to nail that original 3D kind of retro effect, I think they've done it quite well. In this section you can jump, double jump, and kind of like hover as well. You can also talk to things. As well as what I've mentioned, you'll also be doing tasks for the inhabitants of this world as well. There's a lot of dialogue in this. It's almost like reading a book. That's not a bad thing, I have to say. Some of it is as weird as it actually looks, and there's nothing bad about that either. The story is quite interesting, and as I said, I don't always fully understand everything that's going on, but I don't think, again, that is a bad thing. It just means that it's stepped out of the safe zone, and it does jump out of the fourth wall several times. And if none of this really bothers you, I think there's a deep game here that kind of like has some dealings with real life issues within it. I neither want to spoil everything or make myself sound like I don't understand it, so I'm going to stop there, as I think that everyone's going to get their own little take out of this game, and it kind of feels like it might be a bit Marmite-ish, as I definitely feel like some people are going to like this game and some people are probably not going to like it as much. Graphically, as I've said before, it definitely nails that kind of old retro style minimalistic type effect that it's got in the 3D, and definitely that old school RPG top down type effect to it in the 2D parts of the game. It is certainly interesting playing kind of both sides of the actual game, and it's not weird. It just doesn't feel weird. That's the weird thing about it. It feels almost natural. The sound pretty well is the same as the graphics. Again, it's kind of like does what it does, and it's very old schooly, definitely very old schooly. From the talking to the music to the sounds of the environments, I can kind of definitely see what they're going for here. The good. Okay, so I actually do appreciate this type of weirdness, and okay, I'm going to call it weirdness. Yes, I can't explain everything in the game, but I actually enjoy playing this game. The look and sound kind of like gives me a really almost like a hug. It's strange again. I've definitely played games like this in my youth, and yeah, it definitely taps into that. The bad. No voice acting. There is a hell of a lot of dialogue here, and a bit of voice acting wouldn't have gone amiss. The characters can sometimes go on kind of like what feels like gobbledygook, but I definitely get a feeling that that's kind of the point. It's just that sometimes it's just too much. The controls can definitely need, especially in that 2D part, definitely need a patch or something just to make them work a bit better. The score. I get what they were going for here, I really do, and I really want to give it a higher score, but I kind of like I feel like it's gonna have to be a 3 out of 5. Those controls really hurt from time to time, and it kind of like confuses me from time to time as well. But I will say that is a high 3 out of 5, and I am actually enjoying my time within this game. It's just really difficult to put it in words, therefore making it really difficult to put it in a review. What they've done here is kind of unique and certainly a bit different. The alternative is definitely going to be Anodyne 1, which I actually own, and it's kind of a really nice, if not slightly different game, this being a spiritual successor of sorts. Don't worry, you can play this one first and then that one second. There is no kind of order between them, but if you've liked this one enough, I would definitely recommend to go out and check that one out. So what are your comments? Leave them down below, as that is pretty well where they belong. Feel free to join us in Discord, a link below, where we do several streaming, community streaming, community reviews, community kind of like a news Wednesday night program type thing that you can get involved in as well. Because life is better when we switch together.